Terror Tales. Red-Eyed Stranger. I had always been fascinated by abandoned places. There was something about the decay and the history that drew me in. So when I heard about an abandoned mental hospital on the outskirts of town, I knew I had to explore it. I arrived at the hospital on a dark and stormy night. The place was massive, with towering brick walls and broken windows. The rain was coming down in sheets, and the wind was howling like a pack of wolves. But I didn't let the weather deter me. I was determined to explore every inch of the hospital. As I made my way through the halls, I could feel the weight of the place. The walls seemed to hold secrets and pain, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone. I kept hearing whispers and footsteps, but every time I turned around, there was no one there. I soon found myself in the old surgery wing of the hospital. The walls were covered in peeling paint, and the equipment was rusted and ancient. But as I looked around, I saw something that made my blood run cold. There was a figure standing in the corner, staring at me with glowing red eyes. At first, I thought it was just my imagination, but as I looked closer, I could see that it was real. It was a man, dressed in ragged clothing, with matted hair and dirt covering his face. He didn't move or speak, but I could feel his presence weighing down on me like a heavy blanket. I tried to back away, but he started moving towards me. His footsteps were slow and deliberate, and I could hear the sound of chains dragging behind him. I was paralyzed with fear, unable to move or scream. The man approached me and reached out his hand. At first, I thought he was going to attack me, but instead, he placed something in my hand. It was an old photograph, with the words, "Help me," scrawled on the back. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to leave, to run away from the hospital and never look back. But something inside me told me that I needed to help this man, that he was reaching out to me for a reason. I left the hospital and did some research on the photograph. It turns out the man was a patient at the hospital who had been wrongly accused of a crime and locked away for years. He had died in the hospital, never receiving the help he needed. I made it my mission to spread his story, to give him the justice he deserved. But even now, years later, I can't shake the feeling that he's still with me, watching and waiting for me to finish what I started.